Earlier this year, we examined the causes for the recent surge in freight costs, giving context for how an economic surge with greater demand for long-haul trucking, increased regulations, and a shortage of drivers has conspired to move prices to historic levels. Now today, we want to give greater insight into the complexity of moving fresh produce while asking industry leaders what they are doing to mitigate these rising costs and examining if costs will ever return from these record highs. In perishable product management, time is money. The goal is to get from harvest to consumer in as little time as possible. The journey is a complex, choreographed ballet between trucks, growers, shippers, logistics companies, and customers.
In our industry, you're dealing with perishable items, right? The second the product is cut, it's losing shelf life. So it is critical for us to make sure that we keep that cold chain, get it into our cold box, cooled, and put it into a big refrigerator. And then making sure that we have timing with our customer to get it on their trucks and get it over to their locations and out to the stores or restaurants as quick as possible.
For most fresh produce, you have about 7 to 10 days to get the product to the customers, and keeping it cold for the entire journey is a non-negotiable.
We need to make sure that produce, once it gets cooled at our facility, it stays in that cold chain throughout, because any kind of negative temperatures where it reaches above 36, 38 degrees, then you start to have that product shelf life decreasing pretty drastically.
Limited space, loading times, and a product in high demand can lead to long wait times at each shipping point. Let's take a look at an average truck's journey comprised of multiple stops, also known as picks, headed to a facility in Miami. In Spreckels, California, right in the heart of the Salinas Valley, lettuce is loaded on a refrigerated truck, which then heads to Watsonville, about 25 miles away, for a 3-hour wait to pick up strawberries. Then the truck heads to Salinas for a 4-hour wait to pick up bagged lettuce and broccoli. Then it's a 3-hour trip to the Central Valley, about 220 miles away, where it's another 2-hour wait to pick up oranges. The truck heads down south, then about 2 to 3 hours to the Bakersfield area for another 2-hour wait to grab carrots, at which point the truck is full. It's not until this point that the truck starts its 4.5-day journey to South Florida. At this point, the lettuce that was first loaded has spent up to a third of its shelf life in transit. But every hour spent waiting or in transit means more than lost time to sell the product. It means added transportation cost. For ProAct, a fresh food distribution company with thousands of trucks on the road in every state and province, the incentive to find ways to mitigate rising costs has resulted in unique solutions and partnerships, like bringing multiple products to one shipping point known as cross-docking.
We have a source location where multiple shippers are bringing their product to one location so that our customer can send their truck in and pick up not only our product, they can pick up other people's product in one location they can get out of town.
For most truck drivers, they'll have 6 to 7 pickup locations. Each pick could take around 3 hours. By consolidating to one location, trucks are able to pick up Driscoll's, Taylor Farms, and Dorigo product, cutting precious hours and cost out of that original trip.
The things that we're doing is working with our suppliers to put consolidation programs together so that we only have 3 or 4 pickups on our loads, and others may still have 5 or 7. We may get preferential treatment.
Some things are just out of our control. Tensions in the Middle East, increased consumption, and inflation have pushed diesel prices up by nearly $1 a gallon over last year, with California, where many of these trips originate, averaging prices over $1.22 more during that time period.
Diesel is part of the formula of the entire cost set, the landed cost for our customers. So we believe that anytime we can minimize that cost of fuel as the trucks going to different locations, we believe that ultimately benefits our customer.
As we reported in our earlier piece, increased government regulation is bringing additional complications to the process. The Department of Transportation is now requiring drivers to track drive time through an electronic device in trucks, resulting in longer total trip times, but less pay.
Having the ELDs, the electronic logging devices, really keep truckers honest to the hours of service which have been in existence since 2005. And so we saw prices jump up to as much as 30% in December and January. They've settled down slightly as they normally would in February and March, but that settling down is around 20% over last year.
On top of all that, there's a shortage of drivers at a time where the economy is demanding a high supply. The freight industry was already having trouble attracting drivers to a profession known for long hours on the road and complicated pay structure. With low unemployment and rising wages in other sectors, drivers are leaving in droves for jobs in the rebounding construction, manufacturing, and other blue-collar sectors. So to incentivize and keep truck drivers, companies are forced to increase pay and create better benefit packages. According to the most recent study from the American Trucking Association, the median salary for a truck driver has increased by 15% in the last 5 years alone, well ahead of the national pay scale increases.
We've invested into job fairs. We've invested into really offering different incentives to bring folks to our company, whether it's hiring bonuses or stay bonuses. We've invested into referral bonuses. But I think the best thing is when we can develop a driver. So if we take somebody that doesn't have a license and are able to educate those drivers through the process.
The reality is that any one of these items on their own would be an amplifier of regular cost cycles, but together they have created a perfect storm for pricing that has never been seen before. In the last year alone, for an average trip shipping from California to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the rate of transportation for a shipper has increased by roughly 18%. While shipping costs tend to go up and down, those that we spoke with shared a common concern that we would not see a return to costs from even recent years.
To go back down to where we were, unless the economy slows its growth from over 3% and a 4.1% unemployment rate, we anticipate the pricing to maintain at this point around a 20% increase over the past year.
Now, we will continue to monitor and inform you as we head into high-impact summer months, as cross-docking opportunities are rolled out, and as other solutions are scaled for wider usage. Our goal is to minimize the impacts and make you aware of how these changes may affect you in negative or positive ways. If you have any questions or concerns that we can address, please reach out to us at ProAct.